It happened a long time ago. He was my friend. A brilliant man, dedicated to his work. But he stumbled across something that changed him forever. That man, my friend, is gone. And in his place is something horrifying. Neither alive or dead. A lich. Another one seeks to eradicate him. Big mistake.
Is everyone, it's Area of Effect with another out-of-the-box build, this time a Stamina Necromancer. I think the last time I did a Stamina Necromancer was back to the Necrotic Horde build, which was kind of a hit. If you haven't seen that build, go check it out. But listen, where Necromancer is at presently isn't in the best place. This one drove me crazy. I had an idea and a theme in mind, a Lich, which I was able to keep. But one by one, my original ideas of theme and build type had to change to become more functional, powerful, and problem solving. So let's jump into the stat screen. This is a 1-bar build, over 30k max health, almost 5k weapon and spell damage. Our penetration is great, decent resistances, and a lot of recoveries. This build is in a sweet spot of stats, and after a lot of testing, we landed there. You could use Zorga's Smoke Bear Haunch instead of Jewels of Misrule. We just want that max health and those recoveries for both Magicka and Stamina. The Jewels of Misrule are much cheaper, by the way. So all the buffs here from Oaken Soul, we'll get into that in a minute. Boon is the Serpent. We want all that extra Stamina recovery. And we are a Vampire, stage 4. When we sprint, we can go invisible. When we come out of invisibility, we get the passive for 300 weapon and spell damage for 6 seconds. That goes a long way. Our race, we are an Orc. I love the Orc passives on this build. 1000 max stamina from the Brawny passive. We get Unflinching Rage, which is going to increase our max health by 1000. And when we deal damage, you heal for 2300 every 4 seconds by just dealing damage, a constant heal. Swift Warrior, weapon and spell damage by 258, and one of the most important things, reduce the cost of sprint and movement speed bonus of sprint by 10%. A lot of mobility on this build, so let's jump into the gear. We are using the 2-hand Black Rose Maul, sharpened with the Berserker Glyph, and with this Maul, using Uppercut, you deal 45% of the damage to the primary target to all the surrounding targets. As you can tell, I'm smacking the middle target, you get a 15k, and the other targets next to that, and I switch my target there, and I'll switch again. It hits all 3 of them, so Wrecking Blow or Dizzying Swing ends up being an area of effect. So I love that on this build. It's super powerful. You get that major berserk because we are using Wrecking Blow, and you deal area of effect damage. Now I had to do a little circle to sprint to get my invisibility for my weapon and spell damage buff. The monster set, Zol, the Ever Wakeful, in pen. Max Stam, when you break free, you release a wave of Watcher energy. Within 8 meters of you, everybody becomes feared for 3 seconds, and 34 weapon and spell damage is gained by each enemy, up to 6. So you could have almost 200 weapon and spell damage right there by a break free, and everybody gets feared. I love that. We're using a 1-piece Druid Heavy Cuirass for that extra max health. You could use Trainee if you have it, it's a little better. Zol, the Ever Wakeful Light Shoulders, Epaulets. Look, I don't know if I'll ever get away from Zol on a Necromancer build because I think it's my favorite. Necromancers offer, in my opinion, such weak CC, stunning and immobilizing, that Zol just does it automatically for you, gives you weapon and spell damage, and costs no resources. I love Zol, the Ever Wakeful on Necromancers. I feel like it fills in a gap. The first 5-piece set is Flame Blossom. When you deal damage, you summon a line of flame that moves forward after 1 second, deals almost 9,000 flame damage, that's base, it could crit, and then gives everybody the burning status effect. Check it out, moves through 12,000, 13,000 on the Ogrim, and they're all burning now. The flame line moved forward past all these guys. It'll proc again, I'll give you a chance to see more distance. There, it lit them all up again. You saw the big tooltip, now the burning status effect. That is our 5-piece set in this build. I wanted to keep that for the flame end on the Lich in the beginning of the video on the intro. Anyhow, Necklace of the Trainee, like I said, it has more value than Druid. It has 1,400. You could do Druid here, or you could do double Trainee, double Druid, whatever. I wanted to do 1 Druid, 1 Trainee for the double dipping into max health for 30,000 max health. Now, Oaken Soul, look at all of these buffs. Okay, now listen, I didn't use Oaken Soul in this build out of laziness or inability to go through buffing myself up and keeping a rotation where I keep uptimes on buffs and whatnot. I did it because it saved time and resources with where Necromancer's at right now, which I think is pretty weak, to not to spend time casting buffs and slotting skills passively like Inner Light for the crit, where you could just have these things loaded up and ready to go and just focused on dealing damage, attacking, healing, and everything action-based. Same thing with Zol, the Ever Wakeful, for the CC, because I hate the skeleton circle hand skill that Necromancers have. So I solved problems, I felt like, with where Necromancer's at for me, with Zol as a monster set and Oaken Soul. Now, skills, the first skill we're using, Wrecking Blow, 97, almost 10,000 physical damage. You gain in power, that's not going to help you in PvP at all. But also Major Berserk, increasing your damage done by 10%. Look at that hit. It's a big whopping hit, and right when we do it, Flame Blossom is going to proc in time to receive that 10% additional damage as it moves through the targets. The next skill, Resolving Vigor, heal for almost 20,000 health over 5 seconds. That could crit for more, and giving us minor resolve, increasing our spell resistance and physical resistance by almost 3,000. We have a stamina heal here, and we try to keep a magicka heal on our bar. At least I do. Now I had to run around, sorry guys, to get cloaked and then come out so I can get the maximum numbers to show the in-battle active tooltip. Next skill, Stampede. I actually realized we needed this skill much more than I had originally anticipated. We need this gap closer to stay in their face up close with Wrecking Blow and Flame Blossom as much as possible. We don't want them to have time to anticipate the flame. Next skill, Resistant Flesh, heal for almost 12,000. Okay, you do give yourself a slight debuff, healing and received in health recovery by 8, but we don't have health recovery anyway. But you increase your physical and spell resistance for 3 seconds based on what the amount was that you healed for, which I think is excellent, because the more of a pinch you're in, lower health, and trying to burst heal through massive damage, maybe coming in fast and hard, when you spam this for 3 seconds and you get like a 12,000 or an 8,000 point heal, you are going to get that physical and spell resistance, which is big, during the time that you need it. So I love that heal. We got a magicka heal and we have a stamina heal. The last skill in our bar is a very necessary one. It's the Blast Bones. Stalking Blast Bones costs magicka, deals flame damage, almost 13,000 to all enemies around. The longer it travels, the more damage it deals, up to 50% more. We can cast this pretty much non-stop, and because of the magicka heal and this Blast Bones that cost magicka, this is why we want magicka recovery and are using Jewels of Misrule, even though we are primarily a stamina build. So that is all of the regular skills. Now the ultimate, I recommend using a couple different ones just based on what scenario you're in. In one of the PvP clips you might have noticed I was using Soul Strike in the beginning, but I realized the groups were very tight and clustered together constantly, and I wanted the Colossus, or you could have put Ice Comet. But for scattered one-on-ones where there's guys breaking away, Soul Strike is insane. I love the blue and whitish beam to match the theme of the kind of bipolar fire and blue fire and orange fire type of, or ice even, type of look. So I'm going to go ahead and show Soul Strike, and we used the one that's basically, it detonates after 5 seconds. So a big heavy channel. I love after you hit him with Wrecking Blow, you get that 10% additional damage, but 57,000 over the course of 5 seconds. It blows up almost, it could crit as well. Remember that. 85, almost 9,000 damage to everybody around. Sometimes I'll detonate it early. See, I went ahead and hit him with that 15,000 in one tick, and it's going to blow up for everybody. Bam. Okay, I got the crit on the primary, and the other two got splashed. That wasn't crit, but that's what we went with. If you're dealing with groups that are big and tight, use the Colossus or the Ice Comet. Into the champion trees now, Occult Overload. I liked this one for the extra Oblivion damage around the primary target when you're killing somebody with a status effect, and they're going to have a status effect always, burning from Flame Blossom. Then Endless Endurance, that's going to give us max stam. Untamed Aggression, 150 weapon and spell damage, and Arcane Supremacy, Max Magicka, 1300. This is the setup I went with on the blue tree. Tweak it how you'd like to fit your own needs and playstyle. The red tree, Boundless Vitality. We want that extra max health. Pretty much always these two, Fortified and Boundless Vitality, for more resistance and more max health. Rejuvenation, 90 health, Magicka, and stamina recovery. We don't get the health. And Sustained by Suffering, 150 health, Magicka, and stamina while under the effects of a negative effect. That's going to be constantly in PvP, pretty much. So that is what I went with on the red tree. That's going to wrap up the CP distribution and wrap up this build video. The Lich of Burning Souls build. If you like this build and you want to see more, head on over to my channel. I've got plenty of builds on there of all types, healers, tanks, damage dealers, and things in between. So if that kind of thing's for you, like, share, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment of what you would do differently, and thanks for watching. Area of Effect, signing out.